Gents, think about this. All these villas that you see here. Anyone who's what do you think the average price is of these villas?
10 million.
10 million, 15 million probably.
Pound.
Yeah.
About $15 million.
Yeah, it's in the top millions of capital. If you think about it, every single person who owns one of them is going to be at the top 1% of their industry, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Like someone could be an engineer, someone could own a company in tech, whatever it is, they've become the top 1% of whatever it is. And I think a lot of people, what they get wrong is when they come into trading, there's almost like a high level of entitlement. That if you think of the average business owner that started a business 6 months ago, they might be 50 grand of debt.
Yeah.
They're very comfortable knowing, right, if I can make it to break even in my first year, I'm good. You know, and sometimes they'll be at break even for a couple of years, and that's still okay because they're figuring out, you know, they're getting better with their systems, their processes, whatever it is, and they're learning about their industry. Anyone who's achieved anything great, anything successful in their life, have become at the top 1% of their niche. But in trading, I find that there's too much entitlement. So if someone spent, say, a couple of £1,000 in education, maybe they've spent a couple of £1,000 in funding, they've just not made it yet, and it's been a couple of years. If you've put in a lot of work, and you've put in a lot of hours, and you feel like you've made a lot of sacrifices, but there's little to no reward, people start taking it personally. But if you can compare it to any other industry in the world where someone has become successful, they've gone through much more hardship than just a couple of £1,000. I actually sit there and think, with what you achieve at the end of trading, you actually get a lot more. Like, let's say, for example, the average person spent like £5,000 to £10,000 before they made it, so to speak. 1 or 2 withdrawals, that's done.
Exactly.
In what world, in what business with the same level of freedom that you get to just be here, like we're in Dubai right now at the villa, in what world do you get that level of freedom where once you've got the skill, no one can take it away from you, you can work from anywhere in the world and you're not location dependent, and you can just keep scaling up. Like, I don't think many industries actually offer that. You don't have a boss, you don't have to deal with like stressy people at work that maybe you don't get on with, you don't have to deal with the complicated HR department. Like, it's just very much you, your laptop, so you can swan around if you so please, and just make it happen. Surely there's going to be a level of difficulty to actually get that skill. So this is just easier if I show you. Top 1%. In order for you to be in the top 1%, you need quite a few things. So you need good habits, you need knowledge, resources, capital, you need skill, you need mentors, and you need network. All of these things are connected. There's a reason why I spent so many years creating an infrastructure that achieves all of that and helps people get there. So there are so many scenarios in which that you will rely on your network. For example, in Falcon, we have a network worldwide. So let's say someone's going to start a business, and this has happened multiple times, by the way. They start a business and they're in a position where they just don't have this, right? So they don't have enough capital. But just because they don't have enough capital doesn't mean they can't start something, because they've got a good network. They may have, you know, networked with lots of different people in the community. They've built a lot of trust and they want to start an idea, and it's great. They can access the money, where before they didn't have that. They're also surrounded by people that have got really good habits, right? They're surrounded by people that have got the knowledge, and the knowledge is important because you can work hard at all of the wrong things. You want to be surrounded by people that have got the results that you want, surrounded by people that are doing what you want to do, so you can essentially vet the knowledge, the quality of it, that it's actually going to help you. And then resources. What good is having the skill, but you don't really have the resources to do it, so you'll be limited to some degree. So all of these things are important, but what you've got to remember, at each part of your journey, certain things will feel like they're more important. So for example, someone earlier on, they're not going to prioritize this without a shadow of a doubt, because all they're thinking about is this. They want money, they want capital, and they think that will solve all of their problems, not realizing that a lot of the times it is having the network that helps you do that. But I understand when you're trying to become successful, all you're thinking about is, I just want to make money, maybe I just want to quit my job. But if you want to be in the top 1% and you want to buy villas like this or properties all over the world, you have to get into the top 1%. And the only way to do that is to have all of these things figured out. Imagine you're someone now who's got an incredible network, you've built all of the right habits and traits of professional, successful people, you've vetted the knowledge, so you're surrounded by people that have become successful in the niche that you want. You've got the resources, you've got access to the capital, you now have the skill, and you've got mentors guiding you in the right direction that have made their way out of the jungle. They know the route to take, so you don't waste no time, and you don't waste any more money than what you need to. So my goal was to solve all of that. So let's look at it. Mentor, do I have the experience? Yes. Right, coming up 17 years experience in the industry. Network, the network is prioritized within the community, so we've built the network out from within. Now of course you've got access to things like the Funded Traders Club, where there's other people within my niche and my network, so you're essentially benefiting from my network as well. Then skill, the skill we teach you, the capital we give you, the resources, there's resources within Falcon, and of course there's physical resources of things that you buy, like a laptop for example, or invest into your education. But the thing that you fuel that with is a job. Do you know what the irony is? Many people hate their job. They don't realize that's the fuel that is actually going to get them into the top 1% in the first place. And your perspective on how you think about it is absolutely vital. So imagine now you don't particularly like your job. Most people don't. But you recognize all of it is powering up your ability to get all of this. And that is what is going to put you in the top 1% of life in general. So there's your resources, your knowledge has to be specialized knowledge. Listen, there is information everywhere. And in the world that we're moving, there's an overload of information. And to the point you don't know how to discern what's good and what's bad. You haven't got a clue. Again, mentors. People have already done this. So why are you trying to reinvent the wheel when it's already there? Habits. This is something that you're going to have to do the work. But again, your network. If your network, you're surrounded by people that are savages. There's a reason why we have this collective energy within our community, and we push each other to the limits and make people push themselves out their comfort zones. And we meet regularly, we do these masterminds, we do in-person things. We're generally trying to affect as many people as possible all over the world. There's a reason why we've done that in 150 countries now, in just under 8 years, coming up in February. It's crazy what we've achieved. This is how we're going to put all of our traders into the top 1%, because, and there are like little subcategories of what I've spoken about, but there is no stone left unturned. And there is no reason, there should be no excuse whatsoever why you can't get in here. Because all we ask of you, we've got a stray cat trying to sabotage the clip. So again, look at this level of persistence. That's what you need. You need persistence. Right, this cat is super persistent. And we gave him some water. Hello? Meow. Does anyone speak cat?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you speak cat? Ibby? Meow. I saw someone speaking cat at one point and they'd done it. See? Ibby speaks cat, the cat's going to him. Persistence. But all of these things, right, on a more serious note, there is no reason why you can't get into the top 1%. And there's no reason why you can't get access to any of it. Because if someone came to me and said, Mark, it's all well and good, I want to live a top 1% life, but you know what, I just don't have money. Well, you have the ability to get a job, don't you? I've already taken care of the problem of money. All you literally have to do is have a job that takes care of your bills, takes care of some education, which is a very low barrier to entry. When I first started, it was thousands and thousands, all of my money that I had up front. That doesn't exist anymore. Imagine you as the average trader right now, and your barrier to entry was £5,000 up front. You wouldn't even be able to do it. Most people wouldn't even be able to start. So recognize the easy access that you have got to high quality information and knowledge and resources that helps you become into the top 1%. And that's all you have to do. And that's why we have people, like we had someone passing our in-house fund today, right? He just got his 60K account. He didn't do it overnight. It took over 8 months. And that's someone who's applied themselves with the resources, with the knowledge, who's invested into himself, not entitled, thinking that he should just get everything for nothing. This is someone who's putting in the work, and that have got a 60K account. And what's interesting about this, with our in-house fund, when he makes 10% on his 60K, that goes to 120K. So on that 120K account, average return of let's say 5%, that individual starts making their monthly salary on that account. And I would still encourage that individual to still work, still do your job whilst you're making this money, and stack it and scale it up and make sure that you're actually feeding your personal account and you're building these things up. So many people, they quit too soon. Why am I telling you this? Being a mentor. I don't know who's screaming in the background, but they need rewired. Right. If you ask nicely, I'll give you 20% off of rewired. But this is what it goes to show you. When you're around the right people and you're connected and you just put in the work, you have one of the most golden opportunities to change your life that really and truly wasn't accessible for a lot of people. Like, imagine it was 30 years ago, and let's say you was 20 years old and it was 30 years ago, and these were the options that you had. Many people are ungrateful and ignorant to the fact that a lot of people before their generation did not have these opportunities, and you have them right now, and yet you coast, complain, and even when you do get the education, sometimes you don't even do anything with it. You're just casual with it and just expect things to happen. There are many people that would, in a blink of an eye, trade places with the issues and all of the problems that you have. Recognize the opportunity you have. You want to be in the top 1%, you have to start thinking and behaving like someone who is in the top 1%.